Hey, it's Theresa Barron. On this episode of the Realty Talk, we're going to give you some strategies so that you can learn how to be in real estate full-time as your number one income source. Today, I'm sitting here with Ashley Thomas, and Ashley Thomas has been one of the top producing agents for my personal brokerage, which is Take a Look Real Estate Brokers in Columbus, Ohio. But today we're not talking about Take a Look. What we're doing is we're going to give you the tea as it relates to agent learning how to not be dependent on like a part-time, full-time job and selling real estate. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Ashley. Ashley has been in the business for 7, maybe working on 8 years. And she's coming with a wealth of information and has now been, in the position of training and helping agents to grow their business. So what we're bringing you today is from real world actionable stuff that we're actually doing in the world right now of real estate. And especially it's going to be very, very important as we move down the line here and get into 2024, because everybody understands that number one, dues are coming up. And number two, you've got higher interest rates, and it's much more challenging in the world of real estate than it has been over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So let me introduce you to Miss Ashley Thomas.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
I'm so glad to have you. I really was wondering. I was like, am I going to get Ashley here or what? But she's here. She made it. She made it. Yeah. Ashley, tell everybody a little bit about what it takes. So, because agents get their license, they get into the business, they usually pick the shiniest broker or the loudest broker or the most, prominent broker that they find. And in this case, it's big box broker. Everybody knows who the big box brokers are. And what do you have to say about, getting into this business and what happens after you get in?
Yes. So that's kind of how we are, right? We always gravitate towards the shiniest things. Whoever has the shiniest toys is where we want to be. But a lot of times the bigger box brokerages don't have the best interest of the agent at heart. When you get into these bigger companies that offer all this training and they offer all this technology, you really get to see that that's not really the case.
Yeah.
And a lot of times real estate is a relationship business on the client side and on the brokerage side. You need to make sure that you have the relationships established with your coworkers, your co-agents, your broker, so that you have somebody who can actually mentor you. It takes mentorship. Honestly, it takes someone who's willing to coach you through the day-to-day activities, because real estate is not always showing houses and, signing contracts and getting to the closing table. There's a lot of in-between work that comes, into play with that. Yeah,
a ton of work. And recently we were listening to a couple of other podcasts, and one of the, most talented trainers out there and coaches who coaches people, nationwide, spoke to, the 5 things that he believes will guarantee you will be unsuccessful. Right. You're going to be unsuccessful. Not the success story.
Right.
But, what we want you to do is we're going to give you the unsuccessful, and what you can do is turn it on its head. And that's what you need to do to be successful. So I'm going to give you these top 5 things really quickly. So number 1 is don't have a plan. Number 1, don't have a plan. Make sure that you just wing it. Guarantee keep you from being successful. I'm repeating it. Brandon, thank you for giving us this. I paid for your course earlier this year, so I got a right to speak it. Number 2, don't hire a coach. Just don't do it. Why would you want to get somebody to show you actually what you have to do? If you want to fail in this business, definitely do not hire a coach. Number 3, jump from system to system and don't learn how to do anything well. Just be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Number 4, what's number 4? Schedule. Don't keep a schedule. Do not keep a schedule. Be sure to decide today's a work day and tomorrow is not. Y'all know, as a real estate agent, we work 7 days a week, right? So if you don't have no schedule,
all the time.
you're always working. You're always working, but it's a lifestyle business, right? And last but not least, come on.
Accountability.
Accountability, y'all. They had to throw it to me because, I've been talking for a minute. But accountability is the other piece of this. Yeah, so speak to it. Ashley.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, all of those things are not having all of those things is definitely a surefire way to fail. But being an agent means being an entrepreneur. It means owning your own business. You are your own business. So you have to take charge of that business. So I have to treat my business as if I were going to a 9-to-5. I have to hold myself accountable as if I were my own boss, because I am. So if I want to be successful, then I know that there are certain things I have to do on a daily basis to ensure that I'm successful, whether I want to do them or not.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what gets me out of bed in the morning. I think, well, if I want to be able to buy groceries, I guess I got to get up out of bed, or anything, or if I want to go on vacation, or if I want to buy a new car, whatever it is your motivation is. That should be what gets you out of bed in the morning to do those activities, because they're not always fun. We see on Netflix and we see on HGTV, we see the glitz and the glam of the realtor life. That is not what it is at all.
You even see it on Facebook.
You see it on Facebook, absolutely.
Fake book. Oh, one more thing. I'm being reminded here, and I do have to tell you that with Theresa's list, Brandon, we got one more list. We got one more item that you need to definitely do if you want to fail in real estate. You ready for it? Have big britches. Big britches. Be the know-it-all. Know everything. And tell everybody you know everything and I don't even need you. See, listen, your ass, if you do that, guaranteed you ain't staying in this business. I know you ain't gonna be in here long because it takes a team and it takes a group and it takes respect and it takes honor and you need other people to be a part of your journey.
Absolutely.
Without them, it's the blind leading the blind.
You got to be coachable.
You
have to be coachable. You have to be able to analyze your business and see, okay, this is not working. What do I do to fix it? And if you have a mentor, you have a coach, they're telling you what you have to do to fix it, but it's up to you to implement it.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to have all or not do all of those
things. Definitely don't do all of those things. But so let me talk to you a little bit about some of the things that we've done as people who work in the industry, and we work together in the industry. And we're building, our legacy, our lifestyle, our business model, and we've been really refining it. So we do have a platform to speak on it. We have the right to speak on it. Number one, set yourself some strong goals. Number two, add significant service. Let service be the way you want to do business. Don't allow the money to cloud your vision, right? What would be your number three on that? So set goals, service. What would be number three for you?
Accountability. I mean, I think that's a big thing, because if you're not holding yourself accountable, or you don't have an accountability partner, or you don't have a coach, there are tasks that are not going to get done.
How challenging is the accountability? We've been doing it for almost a year now.
Yeah, we've been doing it. We started, the end of
last year,
14th of
2022.
And we are up every morning on an accountability call at 8 a.m. And it is very challenging for me, but I do make it. I make an effort every day to do it because it's what sets my mindset for the day. It lets me know, okay, what did I do yesterday that really was attributing to my real estate business? And then what am I going to do today to help that along? So it really sets my mind for the day and gets me thinking, okay, well, what tasks do I need to do? And it just keeps you on track. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to share some of our personal stories, because we are actually working in the field. We are entrepreneurs in the truest sense. We are handling clients and customers on a regular basis, and we not just our consumer clients, but also our agent clients. So we know what it is that you need to try to build your business, you should be also thinking about how you're going to stand out in the marketplace. And a lot of times, just putting up a pretty picture or, being braggadocious, using brag points, I don't know how much value that brings to the marketplace because everybody's doing it, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, and if you have the brag points, congratulations. But honestly, a client is not going to care if you sold 10 million or 5 million or 1 million or whatever. They don't care that you have 10 transactions going at one time. They want to know that you are there to serve them in their best. You have their best interest at heart. That's what's important to the client. The client wants to be served, and it's your job as an agent to serve them. So
yeah. So would you ever, I've seen some agents out here doing things like, and actually their clients become my clients, to be quite honest with you, that would go and have a hard time just put a client in their car and start shopping them. Would you ever do that?
No.
You better tell them. You better tell them.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you better tell them. Tell them why, because this would be some good information. Let's spill some tea on that process.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, a safety issue, right? I mean, one, you should always know your clients, right? You should have already met your client. You should have already had a buyer's consultation or any type of whatever consultation. There should be an initial meeting before you're meeting your clients anywhere. And that should be done at an office or wherever. But when we're doing shopping days, the client just definitely needs to follow me in my car or meet me at the address, and we'll have a whole list that they're meeting us and following us on. But no, we're not getting in my car. My car is messy anyway. Y'all don't want to get in my car. So, I just always have the clients follow me.
Yeah. The other thing is getting that exclusive right. What about that piece? Because I think people are scared.
Yeah.
They're scared to ask for it. They think that people won't do business. What do you think?
Yeah, I hear a lot. I get a lot of clients who come to me who are working with other agents who have specifically said, well, I don't sign anything. I've not signed anything and I won't sign anything. And I get them to sign something because one, that exclusive right is not there just for the client's protection. That's there for your protection as an agent. That's how you get paid. That's how you ensure that you're getting your commission. But it sets expectation. And I think that's really important.
Very clear.
Yeah, very clear expectation. And it shows professionalism. If I come to you as a client and I tell you, listen, this is what I'm going to do for you. And in return, I expect your exclusivity. I expect your loyalty. You're going to sign this stating that there's not going to be any other agent that works with you to find your home. They actually appreciate that. And I don't get fight back on it.
I know. I think it's in the head sometime, in the headspace or in the mindset of the agent, just feeling like they're feeling a little intimidated. But here's the thing, y'all got to know your worth. You have to know that you are a highly valued part of the whole system. That if you put an average person in a position of having to go out and find their property, find their financing, clean up their credit often, know what neighborhoods have what, spend all the time and energy sorting and sifting and negotiating and getting all that done, then going through the inspection process, making sure that the home is in good condition, the condition after getting the inspector there, then negotiating the problems and making certain that they get to the closing table with enough cash and meeting all of the underwriting situations. I mean, you got to put some value on that.
Listen, that was a long, extensive list, and that's not even covering all of what an agent does. And that is important to keep in mind because I've had a client tell me before that they didn't feel like we got paid too much for just writing a contract. An agent does so much more than just writing a contract, but you have to have the confidence to know that.
Yes. And in the state of Ohio, you are a fiduciary. Now, I'm licensed in Florida and it's different. You are a transaction broker in many cases and mostly not a fiduciary, but you still have a level of duty that you need to do in order to serve and get this transaction to the closing table, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of pitfalls that happen in a contract, from start to finish. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Financing, inspection, possession, condition. There's so many things that can go wrong And if you don't have someone who's advocating for you, then chances are it's not going to make it to the closing table. And you as the agent are that advocate. So
yeah, well, that's just really good information. You guys, we're trying to spill this tea for you. So if you haven't been in this industry and figured out what you need to do, these hopefully are some gems that you can take and utilize to make your business better. But let's talk about the long haul in terms of being in real estate over the long haul, and how do we get to full-time, permanent, get enough income and cash flow coming into our business models so that we can sustain for the long haul. And you know what's happening this upcoming year. I mean, everything is kind of topsy-turvy right now. Speak to it.
Yeah, one thing is consistency. You got to be consistent with your business on what you're doing every day, and don't get complacent and comfortable thinking, oh, well, I'm sitting on a couple commission checks, I'm good, because then in 60 days you're not going to be good. So consistency is one thing, and then adaptability. You got to be flexible and be able to roll with the punches. Like you said, there's so many other things that an agent can do in real estate, with the market shifts and with the stuff that's going on, with the lawsuits and everything else that's happening. You have to be able to adapt to the changes and adjust yourself on how you do business so that you can stay afloat.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my suggestion for those of you who are just getting started is to, number one, get the plan together. Decide how you want to operate. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's not just one way. But for your personality, what are you going to do consistently? I said consistency. What are you going to do consistently? What is it how do you relate to people? Are you somebody who is more of a texter, or are you someone that will pick up the phone and, deliver your message verbally? All of these things, they really, really matter. Because people communicate differently, and there's sort of a market mindset that values, with the values being high still, and the interest rates being higher, a lot higher, right? People are feeling like maybe I heard a loan officer we just had earlier say, people are just saying they'll get started in January.
Yeah, no.
But it's a 90-day. It takes 90 days.
90 days. Like, I don't know how you can just take a break off of your business and expect it to jump. So if you get started in January, you're not going to see anything until about March
or April. Because you'll be way behind.
Right. Half the year is going to be gone. You should be working on quarter one right now. Quarter 124 right now.
Yeah.
You should be in your sites. You always have to have a plan. You always have to know where you're going. You always have to have goals. And you should be setting, like you said, very, very aggressive goals. Because if you're shooting for, the stars, then you're going to hit at least the moon. Right, yeah. Right. At least might touch the moon. So you definitely have to make sure that your goals are aggressive, and that you can reach them, and you have a plan to reach it. If you don't know where you're going, then you're just wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah.
And niche, like you said, to make sure that you are focusing on one thing, you got to find your niche. You got to find what you do the best, what you do better than anybody else, who you serve better than anybody else, and just focus on that.
Right. And we do have some very specific strategies that we implement, and I think you definitely need a coach. If what we're saying sounds like something that might be good for you, then I'm going to encourage them to get in touch with me, because I am definitely coaching at this point to make sure that I transfer this information, and it's for the growth of the industry, where we've got a 90% failure rate, and it's also for the growth of our businesses. For me, it is extremely important to make sure that we bring this information to the forefront and share it, which is why the Realty Talk is turning so agent-centric. How are you feeling about that, Ashley? What you think?
I agree. I agree with all of that. It's definitely about serving not just clients but agents. It's about transferring the knowledge and educating on all fronts of it. One thing that I love about this brokerage and about Theresa is that this is nothing that she does is fake. You know what I mean? It's everything is very genuine. It's very genuine, and it comes from a genuine place. And when you serve genuinely, you know, then everything is going to come to you. You know, money, all of that. We don't have to worry about money because you're doing something from the heart, and it's very genuine. So.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. You know, I appreciate that because it really is that. You know, I tell people probably 5 years ago, if I wanted to, I could have stopped and got into hobbies and maybe sold a house here or there. And I come from a family who's got businesses. And one of the things that is very disheartening to me is that the information and the knowledge was not transferred. And some of it, thankfully, I still have my mother, but my father literally died in his business and his children could not take over that business. And that business was producing, it was the largest minority set-aside contractor in the state of Ohio. So, I mean, he was, you know, at the time of his death, he had $2.7 million worth of open contracts. And we did not have the knowledge base, nor did we have the expertise to be able to sustain and maintain. For me, as a Black woman, it is an extremely important thing. And, you know, I love everybody. Some of my favorite people are not Black, but the bottom line is I represent a culture that really needs to see this money and this skill set staying within the community. We need to make sure that the community at large does sustain and maintain because, I mean, if not me, then who? That's the question.
That's right.
And if not now, then when? Those are the questions. So, yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think in our culture we have that mentality of not needing help, and when we get to the top, we covet. And this is the only culture that does that. You know what I mean? Ours is the only culture. Other cultures, you have them reaching back and giving back. So it is refreshing to see that. You know, be a part of a brokerage that definitely, you know, gives back to the community. Yeah.
So, and the coaching is not a recruitment. This is not if you like where you are and you doing well where you are in terms of the personalities. When you come to get the coaching, you're just coming to get the coaching, right? You may be coaching yourself to becoming your own brokerage. You may be coaching yourself to staying in where you are. So that's just my 2 cents. I know that there's a lot of people recruiting because somebody tried to recruit me yesterday, but it's cool. It's cool. But, you know, I mean, I have to, you know, don't hate the player, you know, hate the game. So, you know what I'm saying, you know, bottom line is that we want to add that value and make sure that we pour into people who are, you know, coming behind us. And we did it in our 10-year celebration, our anniversary. We did it then. We'll be talking about that more because we stand on the shoulders of some really great, phenomenal Black brokers that came into play, that helped us, you know, to even be here today. So, yeah. So, what else you got to tell them? Give them some gems before we leave, and then we're gonna let them go. And
well, I mean, I guess I'll just say focus on being genuine. Focus on serving your client base from a genuine space. Don't worry about the transaction. Don't be transactional. Don't worry about the money because the money will come. Just be your authentic self.
Authentic. Did you guys hear that? You got to be authentic. You know, y'all, I know as people from my community, it is what's for me is for me. Y'all know that. Yeah. Y'all know that. Can't nobody take it away from me. You ain't got the skill or the power. What's for me is for me. And that means what's for you is for you. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you on the next episode. I will give you my broker number. It's 20100002720. I am licensed both in the state of Ohio and a licensed broker in the state of Florida. So if they want to get in touch with you real quick, you want to give them your information?
Yep, 614-290-2610. That's my phone number. And my email is ashleythomas@takealookbrokers.com. And my Facebook, Ashley Thomas.
Ashley Thomas. Yeah, and I am Theresa Barron. On Facebook, you can find me under Theresa Barron Cray. And I don't know what my Instagram is Theresa. I don't know. Look me up on Forgive me on that one because I don't remember it. But you can always reach me at 614-778-8503. And when you hear me talk about Facebook, I know I'm telling my age, y'all. I know. I'm going to remember it for the next one. We'll see you on the next one. This is the Real Tea Talk.